I can find you something to talk about. There's a way that you can see them all in square.
Hey, Vic.
Hello, is that you, Ron?
That's me.
All right, good seeing you, partner.
Hi, yeah, I haven't seen you for a while since I guess we had lunch or something over at that restaurant there in New Albany.
It's been a while back.
Yeah. No, that's not true. I saw you at the one of the meetings, banquets.
Oh, what? How many years ago did you come to that banquet?
Well, let's see. Your mother was still alive, so
okay.
I think she died after that. Yeah.
All right. She passed away 10 years ago, so that it was a little while before that. Then I guess.
Yeah, it was after that. Then. The last time I came, I think she had passed when I came the last time for about 2 years. Hello. Can you hear me?
Ron, I can hear you.
Okay.
Ron and Vic, this is Gordon Husk. I'm on here too on the phone.
Oh, you're not visible, but we can hear you, right, Gordon?
Right. I just called in on the phone. My computer is acting up again.
Okay.
We don't have to look at him then, huh?
That's good news.
That's right. That's a bonus right there.
Now, Ron, you wanted a list of all your schoolmates in class of 1955, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
Really? I wonder how many of them are still alive.
Well, I know some of them are not.
Donnie Owens is not, I know.
Willie Allstott, I think he's still alive. Margie Baker?
Yeah, I think she is. Yeah.
Bob Boss has passed away.
Yeah.
Arletta Brown.
Yeah, she was the first one to pass away. No, not Loretta. Is Loretta Brown dead?
That's who it is, Arletta, yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of Tula Walsh, I think it was.
Ray Buchanan, he died years ago, didn't he?
He died in our senior year.
That's what I thought. Juanita Bullington.
Is she gone?
I do not know.
She was at the last reunion, I think they had, yeah.
Paul Collin.
Gosh, I don't even remember him.
Catherine Crawford.
Yeah.
Jerry Cruz. He usually comes to our breakfasts up here in Clarksville.
Oh.
So he's definitely alive. Naoma Culberson.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her.
Billy Greiger.
Don't know.
Carol Enlow. Gosh, he died long ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he died a week before he was supposed to marry Loretta Smith.
That is right. James Enlow, I think, is still alive.
Yeah. That's his cousin.
That's right. Doris Ferryman.
I don't know.
Sandra Fields.
Don't know.
Diane Flanigan.
She's passed, I think.
Yeah. Lauren Goldman.
Don't know.
I think he passed away, I think.
Yeah.
Perry Gray.
Don't know.
Eugene Holland.
Don't know.
Mary Holland.
Don't know.
Frank Husk. Unfortunately, Frank left us.
Okay.
Ronald Jones.
I don't know.
John Joe Judd.
Don't know.
Wanda King.
Don't know.
Leon Leeser.
Yes, he's alive.
Okay, that's the list of class of 55.
Okay.
Oh no, wait a minute. It continues on the next page.
Don't say there were 33 of us.
Okay, Jim Moss.
He's gone.
Charles Morgan.
You don't know.
Alberta Luff,
Don't know.
Ferris Newkirk.
Don't know. He had perfect 12 years attendance.
Did he really?
Yep.
Eula Newton,
No, no.
Donnie Owens,
He's gone.
Sandalee Roberts, she's still around.
Yeah.
James Satterfield,
Don't know.
Sandra Scowden,
Don't know.
I think she's still alive.
That was Ernie Scowden's sister.
That's right. Marlene Stroud,
Don't know.
Colleen Treadway,
Don't know.
she died.
No, she did? Yeah.
Yeah. Betty Young,
Don't know.
Lauren Leeser,
He's alive. That's
David,
David who?
David Milby.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah, he was real skinny. He's dead.
Okay, that's oh, that was a pretty big class, really.
It was the largest to date at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, who had when your brother in the smallest class? Doug? Were there only 8 in that class?
No, that was Vic's class, Vic and Gordon's class, 8 of us.
Yeah. Oh, you were in there too.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. What, 4 boys and 4 girls, if I remember correctly?
5
and 3.
5 boys and 3 girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's the time, Ron, that we played hooky a few days before school was out, and we all left in one car.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, but they said that was okay because you were seniors.
I guess.
Somebody else just popped on.
Wow. Hi, everybody. This is quite a turnout.
What relation are you to Jeremy? To Vic?
I'm Mike Flanigan's grandson, Jeremy.
Oh, okay.
And he'll be joining shortly. We just got off our weekly family Zoom meeting that we do, but then this second Sunday is for you VIP friends of English, and I like to say of the Flanagans.
Yeah, your aunt was in my class, you know.
Which aunt? Diane?
Diane, yeah, I took her to junior prom.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Diane was my great aunt then.
Great aunt, yeah, okay.
Now let's see, we got, who's joining by phone? Who's on the phone with the 317?
That's me, Gordon Husk.
Oh, that is Gordon. Hey, Gordon. What? And Bob Mason and someone else is trying to connect. Oh, Bob Roberts is connecting to audio.
This is pretty neat. You guys do this every month?
Yes, sir. The second Sunday of every month, 5 p.m. Eastern time.
All right.
And disclaimer, we record it. So watch what you say, because we put it up on.
I've always watched what I'd say.
you're very intentional about what you say, right? The Crawford County Historical and Genealogical Society puts the recording up on their YouTube channel, and so people can watch it. I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what people of Crawford County want to do, see my face.
And Jeremy.
Yes, Vic.
The 3 conspirators that hopped the freight train and rode it to Huntingburg, Indiana, are all on right now.
Oh my! We got to revisit that story.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah. Sure.
We were going to jump off when it slowed down out toward the trestle, but it didn't slow down, and it was so dark we were afraid to jump off, so we went it all the way to Huntingburg.
That's right.
Now, who was on the train and who was driving?
We were riding in a boxcar.
we hopped a freight train, Jeremy.
But I thought that somebody was also driving and wanted to see who could get to English first.
Yeah. Arnold Vogelsong.
Ah.
When we went through English about 90 miles an hour, he was there standing outside about that 49 or 50 Ford he had.
Right.
And was waving at us as we went by. He was supposed to come up to the trestle and pick us up, but we never.
So Arnie won. The car got there before the train did.
He won. He really won.
We had come back from Naval Reserve meeting when we're in our whites. And the time we walked through that field down there in Henningsburg, they weren't white anymore.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that stayed in the Navy, though.
Well, my granddad Mike, he was that was Naval Reserves, right? Was he in the car with Arnie, or was he not on that trip?
We used to take turns driving, and we would pick up Vic in New Albany because he worked at DuPont. Isn't that right there, Vic?
That's right. I was working then.
Yeah, he's working at DuPont. We'd pick him up because he stayed in New Albany, and then we took turns driving. So I guess it was Arnie's turn to drive that time. So he probably was in the car.
I think Mike was with Arnie in the car.
Yes.
There was a 49 Ford.
Okay.
What?
Is that Victor Megenity?
Hey, Mr. Michael Pale.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, Michael. How you doing, buddy?
Okay.
Good, good. Michael, we were talking about the time we hopped the freight train. Were you with Arnie when we hopped the freight train?
I think I was waiting for you in English. Did you? Where did you hop it? At Milltown?
No, we hopped it at New Albany.
Oh, and then
New
came
Salisbury.
all the way in. Yeah.
New Salisbury.
Granddad, we got a new friend on this week. Let's see if you recognize them.
Who's that?
You're probably not seeing him on the screen because he's not talking yet.
Hello.
It's Ron Kissel.
Ronnie Kissel? Good heavens.
Can you see him? Are you what view do you have? Do you only see the person who's talking, or can you see everybody in little squares?
No, I just see there's a little strip on the side, but I can't make anything out of it.
So Ron, when you talk, Mike will see you.
Okay, hello there, Mike. How you doing?
Is that you, Ronnie Kissel?
It most certainly is. I'm still alive and kicking. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Still kicking. Wow. The one thing I remember about you is you lived up there close to the schoolhouse.
Somebody lost their mic.
Huh?
Somebody lost their mic. Who's that just popped in? Somebody just popped in. I got another face on the right over there.
Ron Kissel, where are you located at?
I'm in Duluth, Georgia, which is just north of about 30 miles north of Atlanta, but it's one big megalopolis. You wouldn't know you're in Atlanta or out of Atlanta. It's just figures on them. I came down there to be with my daughter, my granddaughter, and 2 great-grandsons. That's why I'm down here. I've been in Virginia most of the time. I spent 33 years in the Navy, most of it out of Norfolk.
We had 3 grandsons in the Navy.
What ships were they stationed on, you know?
Well, two of them were on LHD, Iwo Jima, and I forgot what the other one was. I've got his hat. I'll go get it. See.
I spent a lot of time on aircraft carriers, and I went to Vietnam on a heavy cruiser, the Newport News. I spent a year in Vietnam there.
Yeah. That's Victor. There's me in the middle. Is that John?
Who's
No.
Timothy and something?
That's not John. Who's that? There.
Is John Flanigan logged in yet?
Somebody doesn't have their mic on. I don't see him over there. I see his mouth moving, but he's not talking.
All right, so Bob is not connected to audio, and he can't see us. So I've got him on my cell phone for audio, and let's see if this works. But Tim Eade is on audio only. He's muted. And then we've got Granddad. So Gordon Husk is on audio only. You can't see Gordon.
I'm going to click on this again, your Zoom, to bring it up and try it again.
Can't understand it.
Can't understand it. Okay. Yeah. Try it again, Bob. Bob Roberts. All right. We'll see. So you all talk. You all visit.
Okay.
Ron, what aircraft carriers were you on?
I put the Kennedy in commission. I was on the Nimitz, and also I was on an admiral staff that was on aircraft carriers, and we were on about 4 or 5 different aircraft carriers in and out. Is a flag. The flag, we'd go on a carrier for a while and an operation, then get off. We weren't ship's company.
Pretty good duty, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, and being on the admiral staff, you get to eat a lot better, that's for sure.
Now, Ron, Gordon, and I, and Michael Pale, we never went in the regulars. But while we were 8 years in the Naval Reserve, there wasn't a single, even an attempt at an invasion from Kentucky across the Ohio River.
That's good for you. You know, that was a special case. We signed up for 8 years. It's normally 6. We signed up for 8 years in reserve. If you were on 8 years, you never had to go on active duty.
That's right.
You know, they don't have that anymore, of course. You could. I went on, Ronnie Dimbo, he went on active duty for a couple of years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in fact, he was in the hospital over at Portsmouth. I went over and visited him one time that he was there.
Yeah. Of course, Ronnie passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
How about Ernie Scowden? Is he still alive?
I talked to Ernie yesterday.
I guess unless he died overnight, I guess he's still
that's right. he lives oh gosh, I forget what city in Florida, but he's thinking about moving back up toward the New Albany, Georgetown, Jeffersonville area.
You say Ernie Scowden?
Ernie Scowden is thinking about moving back up this way from Florida.
Well, he had a sister named Sandra.
Yeah,
that's right.
She was in my class.
Is that right?
Yeah, 55. Yeah.
I think she lives up around Paoli.
Probably, yeah. She was about the only one that had a car.
Yeah. And you know, most of us thought Ernie Scowden was the richest kid in English. Remember that?
Well, that's what they thought, but it wasn't quite as true as you might think if you knew the background of the family, because the dad lived in Louisville, you know.
Yeah.
And he brought stuff down, and he would lease those cars, he would rent those cars for a while, and never turn them back in.
Join the meeting.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Tim Eade. When you get a minute, is that sound coming from me?
I don't know. A lot of echoing.
What?
Okay. I just dialed the number for sound that was given in the email, and I hear I'm getting feedback. So I probably won't be able to talk, but it's sure good to listen to you. And Ron, I don't know if you remember my father, Kenneth, but you spoke to me some time ago when I was at a reunion. And this has been about 5 or 6 years ago. I remember your parents and your sister and all of them there at the English Christian Church. So, and of course your cousins keep in contact. So now Bob Roberts, I think, needs to turn up his sound, but given all this crap, I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to log off and just listen to you today. Okay, is that fine?
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Good to see you and talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are we still alive?
Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah, the background's gone away now, yeah.
The other ship my grandson was on the Wasp.
Oh,
Wasp.
okay.
The Wasp, you say?
Yes, the Wasp.
A good friend of mine was the captain of that.
I did have coffee with a bunch of Catholics. One of them said he was there at the Mississippi when the ship was built.
Oh, okay. No, he had command a long time after that. Yeah, it was built down in Biloxi, I believe, down the shipyard down there at Gulfport. Yeah. That's where the America was built. So that one that's got all the metal from the towers, twin towers. Right. No, the New York City. Yeah.
Right.
Ron, I remember your father was the manager of the English Furniture Works, wasn't he?
Yeah, his superintendent, they called him.
Superintendent?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
years.
There was a slide from the second floor to the first floor, and some of us scallywag boys would sneak in. We had a way of getting in there. We'd slide down that slide.
Yeah,
and one day your dad came in the door and we had to run out the way we got. We were fearful that he might recognize us, know who we were, but we never went back again.
Well, that slide is where they set the furniture up to get it sprayed with lacquer. That's what that's for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put me to work down there for about 3 months and put me on the assembly line as a helper. And he did that so I would never want to go work on an assembly line in my life.
Okay.
And he did, and it worked. I had the crappiest job down there.
It could have been worse. You could have been working when Vic and I worked in an unusual spot in Indianapolis. Right, Vic?
That's right.
Yeah. I joined the Navy and just got out of there.
No, I told my mother and father that now Gordon Husk is going to Indianapolis and he's going to get a job in a meatpacking plant. And, you know, his dad's a minister and we won't go to Indianapolis and get in trouble. And my understanding is that Gordon said something similar to his mother and father. And here we were. I was only 16 years old, and Gordon was, I think, 17. Away we went to Indianapolis, and we worked that summer in King & Meatpacking Company.
You know, I spent one summer up in Tifton decastling corn. We went to the Pioneer Corn Company. That was a horrible job. Some of those fields are 2 and 3 miles long.
Now, was that so the corn would not cross-pollinate?
Yeah, what they did, they had, they call it male and female corn, and you had 6 rows of female and 2 rows of male.
Timothy Eade. Join the meeting.
Somebody trying to come on or something?
Yes, this is Tim Eade again. I'm trying a different number and different. So are you guys getting the feedback or not?
No.
No, not as bad anyway.
Not as bad.
Well, I hate to tell you, but Vic.
Yes.
And Ron Kissel. I hate to tell you, but I was in that factory a lot, and I loved that slide. I don't know how many slivers I got in my butt and the ones around the rest of there. But that was about the smoothest thing, moving those packages down there. So, but I don't remember anybody ever running me off. But the thing is, I wasn't there during the workday.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't last long, I can tell you that.
Sonar.
Uh-oh.
I sound like I'm coming from outer space, aren't I?
The sonar is working.
Yeah.
So now it's back again. Okay. One more time. And Ron Kissel, I'm glad to see you on here. I listen to Marlene and Miss Jackson a lot. They are on Facebook, if you can understand me. So, and also Ron Denbo has a granddaughter that lives in Derry, New Hampshire.
Oh,
okay. So I don't know if you were talking about Portsmouth, Virginia, or Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Adios. Good luck.
Somebody left.
Mr. Eade's left.
Oh, okay. Oh, it says here Timothy and Eade. And what does that mean? There's a square down here that says Timothy and Eade.
That's Timmy Eade's.
Oh, Timmy Eade's. Okay.
Yeah, he was trying to connect through video and audio, I think, through his computer, but having trouble. So then he called in just for audio only, but then that's what he just hung up from. So, and now Bob Roberts, as we can see, is having trouble connecting to audio. So I was trying to troubleshoot him through that, but so far we've been unsuccessful. And Uncle John Flanigan, is unable to join this week because he's going out to a Mother's Day brunch.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And I told him we would only say good things about him.
How many are on the net? You know, how many have connected? They're not all on now, right? I mean, today.
Right now, how many people are on the meeting?
How many belong to the group?
Well, who's not on today? So besides Uncle John, Della's not on. Della sometimes joins us.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember her. Yeah.
And Melvin Beasley has been on.
Oh really? Yeah, I know Melvin and I used to run around together. Yeah. Yeah, he went to the University of Louisville, became an engineer. I think he lives in California, doesn't he? Or did?
He does. He lives in California.
He does.
I haven't talked to him in 60 years. He used to run around with, who was it? He worked in the hardware store. Tall, skinny guy. He's dead now. Yeah, heart murmur.
Bob Gillen.
Who?
Bob Gillen.
Bob Gillen, I think. He used to run around with him a lot. You know.
Yeah.
And what they used to do is take Beasley's car and disconnect the speedometer and run around a lot, and then pick back up so the old teacher wouldn't catch him. A Pontiac, the old green Pontiac.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived to be 101 or 102, I think.
101, I think he lived.
Yeah, he was in New Albany in a nursing home, I think.
That's right.
Yeah. Also, you remember they lived over there down below me. The wife worked at the cafeteria there in the school. I'm trying to remember what their names were that lived over there down in the holler back in the back area. He was a farmer.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Yeah, anyway, he lived to be 101 too. Also, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't remember his name.
He was a World War I vet, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, Bill Beasley was in World War I and World War II.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think he had about 3 or 4 months of World War I, and then they called him back. Yeah.
And he lived in 3 centuries. He's very proud of that.
Yes, he did. That is correct. He lived in 3 centuries. Yeah. After he retired, he used to travel over to Europe a lot.
Yes, he did.
He ate dinner every evening at the Duck Inn. Remember the old Duck Inn there by the Blue River? A couple of older people owned it.
Doc and Cecil.
Yeah, well, they lived on East 5th Street there. Yeah, he ate dinner there every night.
That was the Royal Blue Cafe.
Oh, is that what it is now?
It's nothing now.
It's a golf course, right?
That's right.
Didn't your brother run that golf course for a while, Mark?
Yeah. He helped build it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That clubhouse makes a mean BLT sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good.
Oh, Vic, my daughter went her freshman year at IU. You graduated from there, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, well, she went her freshman year there in 78.
Okay.
Mom and Dad used to go up and get her once in a while and bring her down to Crawford. It's only about, what, 60 miles up there or something?
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Jeremy, are you still in South Bend?
Yeah, I'm in South Bend just for a little bit longer. I graduate from IU South Bend with a Master's of Business Administration this Wednesday.
All right. All right.
What's your major?
Master's of Business Administration.
Okay. You're gonna be an MBA, huh?
That's it.
Well, at least somebody's gonna make some money anyway, huh?
I was gonna say a couple of things here. Oh, Granddad, before you joined, and I hope I'm not repeating anything because I missed a fair amount of what you guys were discussing, but Ron said that he was in your sister Diane's class.
Who's that?
Ronnie said that he was in your sister Diane's class at school.
Ronnie Kissel?
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, I took her to the junior prom.
Did you hear that, Granddad?
No, what?
He says he took Diane to the junior prom.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I was driving Denny Bennett's old Chevy coupe that he had there for the filling station. We went to the prom in a thing that said Bennett's filling station on the side of it. Talk about a limousine.
And I'm going to mention a couple of things here. Let's see, because I didn't mention it last time. Well, Tim Eade was on a little more substantially last time, I think, but he had said previously by Facebook Messenger, he had said, let me see what he said here. He was saying, let's see, let me go back here. Okay. He said, because he had said previously that he thought that the Thornberry house was haunted. And I mentioned that on this meeting and no one else had heard of that. So after he watched the video, Tim said, sorry about the Thornberry mistake. I think the haunting was my imagination because the trees were thick in front of the house. And when the moon was bright behind it, it looked eerie. The granite stone at the corner added to the effect. David Sillings from English and Bonnie Mathers McAfee from Dayton, Ohio, both mentioned large fires in English in 1906 and 1932. Was Bob Roberts at those events? Sorry, I know, he isn't that old. They had articles and pictures, but nothing looked familiar to me. Did anyone else see the newspaper article? The articles were published in Hamilton and Tell City papers. He says, thank you to the group for mentioning Dad. Bob always liked to tease, but they got along well. Loved delivering newspapers in town. I would do collections for money on Saturday and would hear all kinds of stories. 40 cents for a week of papers. And yes, I did try and collect twice occasionally when I didn't write down the payment.
You talk about the old Thornberry place upon the hill there?
Yes.
Okay, my grandmother rented that back in the 30s. So my two aunts and her could go to high school because they lived out on a farm in Riddle. It was too far to go. You couldn't get in. So she went in town and rented out the Thornberry place, and they lived there while they went to high school. And my granddad built that house across the schoolhouse for him. How about that, huh?
No kidding.
Yep.
Did you know that, Granddad?
No. What was that again?
Ronnie?
My grandmother rented the old Thornberry place so that so my aunt and my two aunts and her could go to high school there in English. They lived in Riddle.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, that's probably before your time. We weren't born yet.
So the Thornberries didn't. They had moved to town.
I don't know where they're going. All I know is that grandma rented that house. Well, and then my grandfather, he decided to build a house across from the schoolhouse, and that's where I grew up. I was born on the farm there at Riddle, and that's where I was born. If anybody cares.
Well, Granddad, that must have been, if your granddad Thornberry, after he passed away, Rose lived with your parents in English, right? I mean, in town.
I think so, yeah.
So that might have been when they rented the house on the hill.
Who were the Thornberries? I don't even know who they were. Do you know?
Granddad, who were the Thornberries? Your mom was Mary Thornberry.
Yeah, that's right.
And her parents were who?
Frank. I don't remember what his wife was named.
Rose.
Rose, yeah. Frank and Rose Thornberry. That's right. That's my mother's parents.
But then Frank's dad was William Thornberry.
I think that's right. How do you remember that?
And he's the one who built the house on the hill, right?
And
Park Place.
I think he's the one that they had that stone that it's with the date and the name.
I want to say 1896. I might not be right about that.
That sounds good. I think it was the late 1800s. Yeah, I think that's right.
My mother, she was a middle girl. She graduated in 1933 from, and Uzil was older, so I think they probably about 1928 or 29 is when they rented the place out.
How about that? Well, wait, and did they rent out the whole house? Because there was
the
whole house.
Big house.
Well, sure. Well, surely, Granddad, your Thornberry grandparents were both still living in 1928. So I don't know why they would have rented out their house and where they would have been.
I don't either.
I don't know.
That's all I know is they rented out the house so they could go to high school. And then I think they lived there about a year or so before Granddad built the house across the street from the school. It was the second house up the hill from the schoolhouse. The second one on the right. In fact, there's only two on the right.
Is it still standing?
Yes. You can. I can get it on Google. And I could actually see it, or on Google Earth or something. I could actually see the house today. And someone had a Facebook picture of some people by the fence there at the schoolyard, and in the background was the house.
Now, Ronnie, your mother's maiden name was Nash, right?
Nash, yeah, and her mother was a Bird.
Okay, I'm looking at the class of 1933, and I've got all their names listed here. Julian Longus, we remember him. Let's see, Harold Pennick, Chester Roberts.
Yeah, is there a Newkirk on there?
Well, I'm looking. Norman Megenity. I never knew him. He was a cousin of my dad's. I don't see a Newkirk. Oh yeah, Woody Newkirk.
Yeah, he was I think my 8th grade teacher.
Yeah.
I think your dad was my 7th grade teacher. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Now, who was Helen Roberts?
I have no idea.
Bob would probably know.
You'll probably see Fern
Tucker.
No. Fern, is there another Fern on there?
Only see that one. Fern Tucker, that's the only one I see.
I was looking for one of my mother's classmates that used
to. Could it be a married name you're thinking of?
Oh, I know the married name is Weber. Her brother was in the Navy for years. But anyway, my mother used to run around with her. I'm trying to remember their last name. They lived down there in a little house near the factory. I don't remember now.
Near what factory? Furniture factory?
Furniture factory. Yeah, they lived across the creek, across the little book there. Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys a piece of furniture from that furniture factory in a minute. Hey, Bob Roberts, can you hear us? I don't think Bob can see us or hear us, but now it looks like his microphone is working now. So if he would talk, we'd be able to hear him, I think. All right, I'm going to show a couple of things here. All right, so first I'm going to show, just speaking of the furniture factory, a piece of furniture that now sits in the Proctor House in Marengo that was made in that furniture factory. And I'm also going to show, here it is, the Google Earth satellite of English. So maybe we can talk through some of the places now. But here, let me share my screen. Okay, so this is the Historical Society's building. This is the A.H. Flanigan's bedroom set furniture on loan at the Proctor House. But this nightstand here, which this isn't a very good shot of it, but this nightstand was made in the English furniture factory.
How about that?
So, all right, I'm gonna stop sharing. Now, speaking of furniture factories, Granddad, your Aunt Doris was a Cornwall, wasn't she?
Winroth.
No, Dot. Sorry, Dot.
Dot was a Cornwall, yes.
Was a Cornwall.
Yeah.
And didn't the Cornwalls have a furniture factory?
No.
That was in Cordon, wasn't it?
Could have been.
There was a furniture factory in Cordon.
Gordon Furniture Factory's Keller's. I think Cornwall is Paola.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paola, you're right. Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? Let me show more of this to you guys, because those pictures of the Proctor House, those were taken by my Uncle John. But see, he's got all of these pictures, and they're free. Any of these albums here, you guys could see for free online. So this was the Proctor House album. And then unfortunately, and I think I showed some of this on a previous meeting, but these are all pictures of, well, this was the Flanigan house being demolished.
Is that because of the flood or what?
Well, no. It was from years of disrepair. The floodwaters never got up into the Flanigan house.
You're going to say it was up on a hill there, yeah.
Yeah. But there's these are pictures. This is what I think I showed. These were structures that you see they're marked, I guess, for demolition. They've got numbers painted on them, spray painted on them. And some of them have captions. All right, the first two didn't have captions. So this says Faulkner. Can you all see the pictures well enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so this says Faulkner. This doesn't have a caption. Neither does this. But I imagine these were all demolished. Atkins, because very few, Beasley. That's Beasley.
Yeah, that's on the corner down from where I was. Lived around the corner down there.
Very few were actually moved, right? Now there's Benham and Flanigan. Blevins. I know it's sad to see these looking like this, but Brown on site of Suddarth Mock House. Community building.
You know, Lord, I spent some time in there.
Conrad. Denbo on site of Boyd. Cecil and Doc Leeser.
Yeah, they're the ones that own the restaurant.
East 5th Street looking east. Site of English Publishing Company. Site of English Publishing Company, Greiners Jewelry. Does that image look familiar, Granddad?
No, what is it?
It's where you worked.
I'm just look. No, I don't think so.
English Publishing Company.
Well, all I see is a couple of trees.
There you go. There's the side of it.
That was where the printing office was.
And that's where you worked.
Is that right?
Yep.
And this was looking west from the kind of rear of the printing office. That's looking toward Main Street, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
Faulkner.
Yeah, that's the corner. He lived on the corner. I lived on up the hill there from there.
Remnants of fire on East 5th Street. No telling what fire that was. That's Sloan Avenue.
Yeah.
Flanigan.
I recognize that picture.
This one here, right?
Yeah. Grandmother Flanigan's house.
Fouts and
That's
site
where John were born.
Site of S.A. Beale's house.
Yeah.
Fouts, watch repairer. Doc Frakes, dentist. Site of Leonard Cummins' house, teacher. Kurt and Blanche Leeser after fire.
Yeah.
Site of Kenneth and Francis Luckett house.
Yeah, they had them two big ones.
Temple store. Thornberry house. What, Granddad, what Thornberry house is that?
That's not the one my grandmother.
I don't recognize it.
I don't either.
Could this have been at the farm?
That's a poor picture. I don't recognize it.
It is a poor picture. Was this the Thornberry farm outside of English?
No. I don't know.
Could be mislabeled.
It could be, but my Uncle John was the one who took these photos and labeled them, so
he would know. Yeah,
he should know. This one doesn't have a caption.
I don't recognize it. That's East 5th Street there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the Daly house.
Site of Pete Temple house. There we go.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it?
It is. Few buildings left. Now there's none. Last buildings on Main Street coming down. Hey, I really brought an upbeat topic to the conversation, didn't I?
Well, it's interesting. I was gone around that area. I never got to see all that after the flood. It's interesting to me. Yeah.
There, that's all of those. So anyway, that that's something, like I said, on my Uncle John's free Smug Mug site. So he's got yearbooks, his military history of Hawaii. He's got mostly old pictures from Crawford County, Indiana. Goodbye English, which that's what we just looked at. The Flanigan house in particular. Girl Scout pictures from Francis Luckett.
Yeah,
English school pictures. Flanigan house demolition and Proctor house. So those are all the categories he's got of photos.
She's lucky. She stole the Boy Scouts. We had the Boy Scouts tents, and we didn't clean them up after a storm. Took them and cleaned them up, and then kept them for the Girl Scouts and told us we couldn't have them back.
Bob Roberts, he is definitely
working on it,
committed to this. And now, okay, let me share the screen. Let's see if this looks decent here. So I've got Google satellite here. So that's at least relatively recently.
Yeah.
That's the school building.
Yeah, okay. High Street is going up there to see. They've changed it a lot here. They've added something up there.
Do you see your house, Ron?
Yeah, I do. Or where it was. Anyway, yeah, what's changed is gone.
Oh, okay.
Which street was it on?
It's on High Street there, going up there. You see where the schoolhouse is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going right up there. You go straight up, right there. Somebody's got a marker on it, right there.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, put the marker up where those two cars are. I don't know if that's a house in there. They tore it, another building. It looks, it's all changed.
This is as zoomed in, I think, as I can get.
I don't even know. That's a different. They've got some kind of a building up there where those cars are parked. Was the yard.
So your house was right here.
Right there, yeah. It don't look like it's there anymore, does it? It don't look like a house. I guess it is. I guess it is a house.
I guess it is. I don't know if it's a different house or maybe an addition.
Yeah, go over there and go up that long lane up there, and that house by itself back there, that's the Cummings house.
Oh, here.
Yeah, that's the Cummings house. Yeah. Now that store, my aunt, it's not there anymore. My aunt owned a store across from the school there, down there by the school. We used to go there and go behind it and smoke. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Okay, go to the right of the school. There's a looks like a platform right along in there. Yeah. There used to be a store there. My aunt owned it. And Cox, Marilyn Cox was raised there. Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. Thank you. Appreciate all the work.
Happily. Let's see. Okay, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, and this was from Gordon, but I also didn't get to it last month. So let me see. Let me pull this up here. All right, I'll share my screen one more time. Small Town, Indiana. This is the Facebook community group, I guess. It says, celebrating Indiana's crossroads, hamlets, villages, and small towns. So there's a website, smalltownindiana.com. But this was a post from 2016, that Gordon shared with me recently. Day 56 English. Originally known as Hartford when the village was platted in 1839, residents changed the name to English after William English, a U.S. congressman from Indiana and Democratic Party vice president in 1880 with Winfield Hancock, James Garfield, and Chester A. Arthur won by a 0.02% majority in the general. English is one of a few Indiana towns that actually moved due to devastating floods in the latter half of the 20th century. And then there's an article about that. And this says, County Crawford, 2010 census, 645, settlement hierarchy village. And there's these pictures.
Well, you know, Leavenworth in 1937 got flooded out down on the river, and they moved up on the hill. That was in 1937.
That's right. Was there no part of the town of Leavenworth up on the hill prior to that flood? It was all
no, it was all down. It's all down. In fact, the last time I was there, it's been rebuilt. It was a campground for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, 1937, and if you go over there's some old barns that actually have a sign on it that shows how high the water was up on those barns.
So Leavenworth is a campground and English is a golf course.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, I think they started rebuilding down at Leavenworth. You're not allowed to build in English, as I understand. That's the government. You can't build back down there, right?
I don't know. Vic, do you know about that?
Well, I'm sure that's correct.
The government bought it out, right? Didn't the government buy out all that land, or?
The federal government put a lot of money in to get that job done. Yes.
Yeah, it was my understanding. I read somewhere that nobody was allowed to rebuild down there.
Now there was one holdout up on the corner, across from the Faulkner house on that sharp curve. Temple was his last name. He said, "I'm not going to move. I'm in my 80s and I am not going to move." So they bypassed him, and that house is still standing. Temple passed away long ago, but that house, people still live in it, and apparently they don't mind the floodwaters that come every so often.
So that's the only remaining inhabited structure in the floodplain of English. Would that be accurate?
I believe that's accurate.
How about that? I didn't know that part. Yeah.
Me either. I'll just, because Tim Eade is messaging me here on Facebook. A few things he says here. He says, both talked about living in English. Oh, he mentioned Donnie Staniford was on one time. Donnie, of course, passed away in August, but when we started doing this monthly Zoom last June, he was on a few of them. So Tim says, both talked about, I don't know who the other person, but both talked about living in English and Riddle. Mrs. Tony and her family lived in a house on East 5th Street. Fern lived in the house with her mother. We knew her as Scowden. Her mother married Bill Bennett. This was where my parents lived in the 80s. Hard to see. Luckett House before moving into new house after tearing down his parents. Same houses reminded. Cox store is a dwelling. So didn't realize Ernie Scowden was living. Okay, so I think Tim was texting me, messaging me while we were looking at those photos, I guess.
Yeah.
So, well, next second Sunday, so the second Sunday of June is June 13th. So that's when we're next scheduled to do this Zoom, same time.
Donnie Staniford used to hitchhike all over the United States.
Yeah.
Hitchhiking used to be common and relatively safe.
Yeah. Yep. Are we leaving now? Is it over?
Well, it's getting to be about that time, but if there's any burning desires, I
sure appreciate all the work and contacting me. I've really enjoyed seeing you all.
Well, we have Gordon to thank for making that connection to the Zoom. So
that's right.
You're a great addition.
Wouldn't been for my daughter, I wouldn't be on here. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
I have a family.
Okay, good.
All right.
Hi, y'all.
Gonna take us off.
Good to see and hear everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
See you all next month.
All right.
Bob Roberts will be connected by then.
All right, good.
And now you guys have to work on getting Melvin Beasley back to join us.
Okay.
And Della, of course. Gordon says he calls this meeting the Englishman and Della. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Take care.